What's up everyone, Kinetic Coach Dan here in my garage gym dojo. Today we're going to talk a little bit about this product right here, the AXIO 360, made by Ted Besmer. He's done an incredible job of designing something that has real functionality that levels up your shoulder care game. And let me tell you, if you're a human being with a set of shoulders, a set of arms, you need to be using the AXIO 360. He's also got the 720 model and the 1080 model. There's also the AXIO 360 Lite for younger athletes. This was primarily designed because Ted had injured his shoulder. He's a PT. He knows what goes into shoulder care. It's all the stuff that you would expect, right? Band work, shoulder work, rolling the ball up the wall, doing circles, maybe some body blade. And let me tell you, if you have a body blade in your repertoire already, don't get rid of it. But my guess is once you get an AXIO 360, you're probably not going to go back to the body blade work. Again, very linear motion, up and down, left and right. Yes, you might be able to do circles and things like that, but the centrifugal force that you get from the AXIO 360, and you can see here, we can squish that. It's an empty tube all the way around, and there's a steel ball that moves throughout the AXIO. So whether you're going external rotation or internal rotation, the AXIO is forcing your arm, your shoulder stabilizers to work in tons of little variations of movement throughout other movements. And the limitations I've seen in some other products that you have to control your shoulder with while moving through functional patterns, you really can't move as well as you could during the use of the AXIO. That's what I love about it. You can also use it with bands and what have you, attached to your hand, attached to your wrist. And the most important thing is you're learning that rhythmic control, that timing, that rhythm, that tempo. And the best thing that Ted described to me with the AXIO 360 and its other models was the 360 is like driving a Ferrari. It's very fine-tuned, very controlled, very sort of limited circular motion, as opposed to the 360, which is a little bit more of a wider motion because you have two balls rolling through the tube here, and then the 1080 is like driving a Mack truck. You really got to have some strength to work it. And you can work all of these through those macro and micro motions, but the most important thing to me, particularly for throwers and really for even general public who don't ever throw a ball, this isn't just for baseball players to work these circular functional motions. The average person and general gym goer should be using a product, a tool like this just as often, maybe even more, because athletes, overhead athletes in particular, have so much exposure to that overhead movement. They need to be doing these throwing patterns consistently, but because the average person and the general gym goer doesn't usually do those motions, it's when they have to do that that they start developing issues in their shoulder very often. Games like pickleball, tennis, softball, recreational sports that involve any kind of throwing, can't tell you how many clients I have, even in their early to mid 30s, have told me, man, you know what, I'm a little bit worried about throwing a ball and just slinging it around with my young child, right? We're playing sports out in the field, and I'm a little worried that I might hurt my shoulder when I'm doing that because I felt something tweak one time. That's exactly what we're talking about here, is if we're gonna be doing shoulder care, it has to be stuff that's beyond the point of just linear horizontal movements that only work in certain planes of motion. We have to get that sagittal transverse combination where we're moving across the body, and not only that, but we're also integrating lower body patterns into that motion. And not just that, it involves rhythm and timing and tempo and coordination up that entire kinetic chain to create motion that will ultimately be explosive, be athletic, and be well timed. So if you haven't heard of the AXIO 360 and its other models, this is your time to head over to AXIOtraining.com. Use discount code Kinetic to order. It'll save you some money. And let me tell you, this will save you a ton of time, heartache, and shoulder pain if you're using it consistently. I'll tell you right now, I've been having some tweakiness in my left shoulder, and that's usually not the shoulder I have any issues with. And I'll tell you, even with just the 360 here, I can already feel that left shoulder burning a little bit right now. And when I do enough consistent work with it, with these little centrifugal force-based motions, the next day after I've done some shoulder care work, some mobility work, taken really good care of the shoulder and implemented the AXIO in particular. I've done this multiple times and tested it, where I do any kind of shoulder care without it and shoulder care with it. That shoulder feels significantly better in the subsequent days and improves a lot more quickly over time. So, AXIOtraining.com, get yourself an AXIO 360 or some of its other models and use discount code Kinetic to save. I'll see you in the gym, y'all. Live kinetically.